All right, as promised a few days ago, after going over the 2022 NHL entry draft review for the New York Raiders, we're going to go over the 2021 draft and see where all the prospects are from that draft and what they're doing today. The Rangers' first round pick, 16th overall, was Brennan Othmann in the 2021 draft. Elite Prospects wrote this about Othmann in his draft year. Othmann loves nothing more than to collect the puck on the breakout, lead the charge into the offensive zone, and turn the corner on opposing defensemen. He always attacks at full speed, playing a high-paced style and pressuring with that same level of intensity. He pressures on the forecheck, plays the body, and takes good routes to cut off the opposition's attempts at a breakout. High-paced attacker with a precise, quick-release wrister and diverse rush patterns that fool even the most formidable defenders. Advanced puck protector, cutting off defenders' recovery routes, working play at the outside. His hard shot, excellent release to get it off at his top speed is what separates him from others. The numbers speak for themselves. This is Othmann's draft year. This is the year after he got drafted. 50 goals, 97 points in 66 O-show games, 24 points in 19 games. Followed it up this year with, 67 points in 56 games. A step back in production, a big step back actually. But took a step back on the lineup, less ice time, less pretty much everything. Won the OHL Cup and then lost in the Memorial Cup Finals. 5 points in 5 games in the Mem Cup for the Peterborough Petes. And at the World Junior J20 this year, he had 6 points, 2 goals in 7 games. Brennan Othmann is a Rangers' top prospect, and it's really not even close. As of right now, he's a success story. What do I expect to see from Brennan Othmann? Probably won't see him in the NHL for a couple years. At least a year. I don't think he's ready for the NHL this upcoming year. Obviously, he should get a look and probably an extended look in the preseason. But if he's not ready, don't rush him. We don't need to run into the issue where we're forcing young guys in the NHL when they're ill-prepared. Play him a little bit in the AHL. Let him spread his wings. Let him get a feel for things. And if he's ready, he's ready. If not, don't force him. Don't rush him. We don't need to. But yeah, Brennan Othmann's looking really promising so far. I think of him as like a Ryan Callahan light. Or maybe Ryan Callahan better. Who knows? Jaden Gruber, not even talk about because actually the Rangers traded his rights to the Edmonton Oilers after deciding they just weren't going to sign him. So we got a 5th-round pick for him. Ryder Korzak was supposed to be in the AHL this year, didn't work out, so he went back to for another year in juniors, his final year in juniors. Puck handling is Korzak's defining skill, using a combination of herky-jerky movement, deception, and pace to beat defenders. On the power play, his deception reaches another level, threatening shots to set up close cross-slot feeds, and the shot's dangerous too. He changes the angle of his shots and occasionally rifles a curl and drag wrist around the defender. Ryder Korzak's actually a pretty exciting prospect because he's one of those guys that low-key could pop off and be really, really good, but he could also just be mid as fuck. I think he's got a really high ceiling and a really low floor in a professional game. He played 5 games at Hartford, had no points, was a -4. Gets sent back down to WHL, puts up 28 goals and 69 nice points in 48 games, 11 points in 10 playoff games. Had a pretty good season for himself. This will be the big year for him. He's going to get a shot in training camp to show what he's worth. He's more likely than not going to end up in Hartford to start the year. I doubt he gets a spot out of training camp, but it's time to show out, and you hope he has a really big year in Hartford and can get called up the year after next, maybe 2 years after that, everything works out. But I think this kid's got a very high offensive ceiling, and him getting good ice time in the minors is only going to help him grow into becoming a top 6 forward in the NHL, which I think he has a ceiling to be a top 6 forward in the NHL. It's not far-fetched anymore to think that 3rd-round picks can develop into superstar players. There are plenty of players not picked in the 1st round that develop into superstars and are superstars right now in the league. Am I saying Ryder Korzak's going to be a superstar? No. But I'm saying he absolutely could be if he continues to grow and get better because he's got the offensive skill set that is just desirable for prospects and players everywhere. He's just got sick hands. He's got a great shot. He plays the balls off. And I hope things work out. We can see him have a good preseason for the Rangers and an even better AHL season. Hey, if he has 40, 50 points in the AHL, we're looking at a guy that probably could be ready next year. Brody Land, not that he's a non-prospect, but he's pretty much a non-prospect at this point. He's still young and only 19 years old. It really hasn't shown a whole lot. The core of Lamb's effectiveness is his shooting ability and passing skill. He explodes through his shot, transferring his weight to puck, rolling over his wrist through the release. Although he looks to shoot more than pass, he's an efficient playmaker who finds teammates on the weak side, draws in pressure, and uses hook and slip passes to connect. I really hope I'm wrong about this kid, but it's not looking promising. After an okay USHL 41 points in 62 games. He shows up to UMin, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points in 39 games. Unless he shows out in his sophomore year, I don't want to call him a non-prospect, guys. I don't, because I think it's an awful, not awful, like it's a rude thing to say, but not really on the Rangers' radar right now, and probably won't be for another 3 years when his rights expire. Kalle Väisänen, I still can't pronounce his name. Was a 4th-round picked not long after Brody Lamb. Drafted him in 2021. This is his draft year numbers, playing in U20, 30 points in 27 games. Year after that, he was in the Liga, 1 goal, 4 assists, and 5 points. Year after that, still in the Liga, 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. So literally the same stat line, just reverse the goals and assists and add 15 games. In other words, he really hasn't gotten better. But then again, I'm also not super up to date and follow TPS to a crazy extent. This would be more questions for like a Statboy Steven or AJ Nunn or Alex Nunn, whatever however you say his name, to take a look at, because if I'm being honest with you, I don't know if he's gotten more ice time. I don't know what the issue is, but his production since being drafted is stale, stagnant, and really not much to say about him because there's nothing to say yet. I think his rights expires in 2 years, I think. Probably don't ever see him sign, but you never know. He's a big kid, 6'5", $194. You'd like to see it work out, but as of right now, all signs are pointing to him to never getting a contract with the New York Rangers and him going to unrestricted free agency. Talon Boyko, our boy Core Python's favorite Rangers prospect. 6'8", 200-pound goaltender. The Kelowna Rockets this year, an .898 save percentage. Oofa. Not great. Not great at all. Did he lose his starting spot in Kelowna? Yeah, he did not start in the playoffs. This guy, Jari Kaikkonen, got the starting spot over Talon Boyko. So, again, not a non-prospect, but bordering close to it. That's really disappointing that he lost his starting spot. I don't know what the move is with Talon Boyko. I don't know what the Rangers play. I mean, Talon Boyko is like one of like 3 or 4 goalies the Rangers drafted strictly because they're massive and hope that we could develop them. I don't know what the Rangers are going to do with Talon Boyko. I don't. I just hope it works out for him. It'll probably be in the coast this year since he has signed with us. If he makes it to the AHL, it'll be a miracle, but I don't see him being much higher than the coast. He's got Garand. He's got Louis Domingue. He's got guys ahead of him. And I don't know if he usurps them. Unless he blows people away in camp and does really well. And I don't want to discredit the fact that he could do that, but it's just more likely than not it's not going to happen. But it would be great if it does. He's a big kid. So, who knows? Yaroslav Kemlar actually ended up having a pretty solid year playing with Brett Berard, I think it was, in college at Providence. So a year he was drafted, 2020, U18, 13 points, 15 games. Followed that up with the U20, 18 and 39. Not bad, not great. Went to Providence College where he had 13 points in 33 games. I believe this is where Brett Berard goes to college, another Rangers prospect. Yeah, it was. Had a solid year over in Providence. You hope he follows that up with more points and more success and hopefully grows into a top 6 or maybe a number 1 center role on that team. Or, no, I'm sorry, number 1. I thought he was a center. I guess not. End up in just some number 1 role, whether it's, on the first line wing or first line whatever. You just want to see him continue to develop because right now the trajectory is pretty good for a 5th-round pick. So let's hope that his foot stays on the gas and he continues to get better. Statboy Steven covered him ad nauseum during the season. Spoke very highly of Yaroslav Kemlar or Chemlar. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but I think that's how you say it. How much better he did, or how much he's grown throughout the season. Hank Kempf, another big boy, 6'2", $190, physical, keeps tight gap, yada yada yada. He's 21 years old. Again, not a non-prospect, but pretty damn close. Actually produced significantly less, 4 times less, in his sophomore year at Cornell at the age of 21. Rangers have his rights until he's 23, 24 years old. Probably will never see him in a Rangers jersey, but, Yeah, 2021 draft not looking great. You got a couple highlights in Korzak, Othman, and Chemlar, but really not a whole lot else going on in this draft. Not that they took the draft off, they just few swings and misses, at least so far. But then again, hindsight's 2020. We could be looking back on this in 10 years, and every one of those players I mentioned could be, 500, 600 games and have good careers. Who knows? Who are we to guess? But that's really all I have for you guys today. I'm actually getting ready for a podcast with Ice Cold Takes and Core Python. Will be going on, I think, at 9:30. So look for Ice Cold Takes on Twitter. Give him the follow. And I'll see you guys there. Thank you guys for watching the video. And if you're interested in hearing aids, I apologize for the quiet, less in-depth, nasally episode today. Bad weather in Charlotte. My allergies are killing me, and I've been awake since 6 o'clock this morning. Working a full-time job is great. Actually, I really do like my job, but it's just, it's work. It's busy time. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Let's go, Rangers.